Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Griffin. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud. All right, let's get straight to it. Episode 11, Season 2. We've come a long way, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. I mean, we are in the building, presented once again here on Buffalo Fan Base, an official Bills Mafia podcast network, by 26 Shirts. Head over to 26 Shirts for all of your Buffalo Bills t-shirt needs. I know there's been some fun t-shirts rolling out there. The one that I love the most right now is that our quarterback is an actual Buffalo. I love that one. I think that is real clever. Head on over to 26 Shirts. You can go ahead and get yourself right. You're supporting a good cause every single time that you do that, as the donations go right to the families that are affected by the different situations that they've been going through. So head on over to 26shirts.com. Have a good time. Look up some shirts, laugh. They've got Bills, they've got Sabres, all of that good stuff. Nickel City Crew was good. I'm joined once again tonight by my co-host. I am so happy to have him on. Holla at the crew, Adam. Dump Truck Rupsick. Holla at the crew, DT. What's good, man? How you doing tonight,
Nickel
man?
City Crew. Nickel City Crew.
What's up?
We come to you relaxed. We come to you relaxed on this bye week as we take the first couple days of our own weeks in, and with a nice smirk on our face all the way through, and knowing no stress coming up this weekend. It's good to be here in the middle of this week, Rob. It feels good. I'm getting more and more relaxed as we're going into this weekend, and we'll take it. We'll take it.
We will take it all, to be honest. And I'm so excited for tonight's episode because of the fact that the Bills took care of business in Kansas City as we put a bow on last week's episode. What a fun episode that was for the post game. I know that we were all on pins and needles the entire game as the Bills battled the Chiefs, and what a game it was. As we all talked about, it came down to the end, just kind of what we thought it would be. All of those matchups these last few years have been close, besides the AFC Championship game back in 2020. That was a blowout for the Chiefs in their favor. Other than that, the Bills have either won the game or it's been a game that they could have won every single time. Even that rainy game in Buffalo, DT, was a game that they could have won. So it's been a fun little rivalry. It is budding. I think that it is something that is real. It looks like these teams are going to get a chance to match up later, and we'll get into that later in this episode as we take a look around the AFC. But I've really had a fun time just this week, DT, and I want to get your thoughts because it was like literally an exhale after that game, because everything that we talked about before the game came true in respects to the fact that the Bills are in the driver's seat. They do have the one up on the Chiefs, and it looks like it's theirs to lose for the 1 seed for the AFC, and we're going to get into it deep. But literally, DT, what is the move been like? Because I told you nobody can tell me shit now about my squad. I'm going out to football practice for my boys and all the other coaches and the dads is like, because I'm always Bills down, and they, oh man, your squad look good. After this week, I'm damn right my squad look good. We 5-1. I mean, we top of the conference. Like, what's up? Holla at us. How has it been for you, DT, taking it in and kind of reveling in the fact that the Bills are at the top spot of the AFC, and it really looked like the coast looks clear. I understand that there's a lot of weeks left to be played, 11 more games, but the coast looks clear.
Exactly, and that's for the past 3 days, and kind of I think what it will be the rest of the year, coming into calm but firm. But firm. Like everyone knows about us. Everyone knows what 17's about, but get to know, like, for real though, like, but you really know there ain't no team messing with this team, like, but barring any setbacks. Obviously it's a tough league and there's a lot of competitive teams out there, but I said this on the post-game show, and I'll say it again right now. You can't sit here at this point and tell me there's a better team in the NFL, and that's just, I think, facts at this point. Nickel City Crew, like, we speak the truth, right? So
yeah, let's give it to them straight,
facts
man.
to me. That's facts to me that this is the best team in the NFL, and it's going to take, obviously, a lot of things to happen for me to not think that way.
Yeah, and let's start to dig into some of the things that could make you not think that way. And what we'll do here at Nickel City Crew as we're in the bye week, DT already kind of set the mood. We're going to chill tonight, man. Let's just kind of kick back and let's just like let our hair down, let our feet up, and let's just talk tonight. There's no arguments that have to be made. There's no cases for a game and matchups that we need to dissect. Let's just kind of put our feet up and kind of just look at this because again, as we spoke to last week, DT, the bye week is coming at the perfect time. I know it's an early bye week for the Bills most recently, but it really does come at the perfect time as Tre'Davious White is on that 21-day clock. We've got a couple more weeks to get him back on the field. Again, we're all hoping that he's going to be out there for Green Bay. If not, we would assume that he's going to be out there for the following game when they play and they match up against the Jets. Listen, the Bills are in a situation right now that we look at where I'm not exactly sure what could derail us, DT. Injuries aside, so we'll put this down as a statement for Nickel City Crew. We will not talk about injuries. Injuries are random. Sometimes they cannot be prevented in respects to the fact that we can't anticipate an injury coming. So it's just going to be the flow of the game, and sometimes injuries are just going to happen to your team. So we'll put that aside. Injuries aside, and we'll knock on wood for the actual Buffalo Bills squad and the roster that they all stay healthy. What can derail us, DT, as we head into this second half of the season post bye? We're number one seed. We're sitting on that perch that we talked about. What do you think can actually derail the Bills from realizing their dreams of again? And we said at the state of the goals at the start of the season, number one seed, make everybody come through the Ralph, make everybody be uncomfortable, make everyone be cold in the winter, and head on up to Orchard Park and face the Bills. Doesn't matter about the wind, doesn't matter about how much snow. We've already seen this team perform in the elements. What do you see that could derail us, man, as we approach the second half of the year post bye?
Well, we'll take out the injuries, but the cliche is ourselves, Rob. I mean, that's everyone, can say that this week going in and seeing this team like ourselves are what could derail us. That's really the only thing I foresee with the schedule softening up and this team and down the stretch in this game early, and not even down the stretch in this game early, they had a couple big miscues, that could have in a different game that bounces a different way. Those are two touchdowns you need and something like that can always happen. It's the NFL, right? So I think ourselves is the biggest component until I see otherwise. To get a little picky by any means, I don't think it's going to derail us. But one thing I can critique is the line being more consistent when it comes to the run blocking. They look good on Sunday against the Chiefs, but there's been times where it's looking like there's no holes at all.
Yeah.
They seem to be protecting Josh pretty well, but that's the number one goal: protect the merchandise and do that as well. That's your number one. But when we got to run, I'd like to see him throwing around some people like they were at the end of last year. I hope Spencer Brown gets back. That could be a
Yeah.
big hit to that line. But so I would say a little more consistency on the offensive line. But the main thing that's the only thing that would even be remotely close to stopping us, Rob, is ourselves.
Is ourselves. Wow. Well, one way that you can stop yourselves, to be honest with you, and to keep it real here on Nickel City Crew, as we always do, is turnovers. Now, I'm gonna take this week and this bye week to kind of do a little bit of self scouting, and I'm gonna look at the Bills in a critical way as much as possible. I mean, we are sitting at 5-1. I did not expect this, as you guys can go back and you can hit me up on Twitter and you can let me know how Rob, you was a damn fool for even talking about the 4-3. And then DT told you, don't you ever damn mention 3-4 ever again. I said that record one time, and Dump Chuck put me right in my place and said, don't even bring that energy on this show. So listen, I was way wrong. The Bills are 5-1. They are sitting pretty. Turnovers are something that could be sneaky for you in a game. Now, against the Rams, I don't understand. Most teams do not win games. Bills Mafia. Most teams do not win games. Nickel City Crew with 4 turnovers. We turned over the ball 4 times against the Rams to start the season in their place out in SoFi Stadium, and I couldn't even say that it was luck because we took the boot to that ass. So it was not even luck. We just overcame them. We had a turnover against Miami. We had 2 against Baltimore in a game that a lot of people think that we could have lost. Obviously, if Lamar Jackson would have seen Duvernay in the back of that end zone, then it could have been a loss easily for the Bills on that 4th and 2. We had 2 turnovers against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. That was a game that DT and I were at. And then again, last week we had just a turnover against Kansas City. For me, DT, the turnovers, it hasn't bitten us in the ass yet, But boy, it can rear its ugly head, especially when it comes down to late game situations where you look at the Baltimore Ravens and they're all looking like, damn, Lamar, like we need you in these big moments. And you are turning the ball over. And literally, they had a lead against the Giants and he gave the game away. We're looking at them like, damn, we need you, 15. We need you, Pat Mahomes. And then when the game was biggest and in his biggest moment, he misreads the coverage, and Taron Johnson makes a wonderful play. It looks like I saw Steve Young on Monday Night Football split the field, and he showed a diagram of how on the left side of Mahomes, they were playing man, and on the right side, they actually were playing zone. And that's how Taron Johnson was able to come off of that receiver in zone coverage and make that pick. And that's a crucial interception. I mean, Mahomes can come down and beat us and bring us all back nightmares and the boogeyman and all this other shit that I've talked about. He can bring that all back to fruition, 13 seconds, and bring it all back up if he doesn't throw that pick. That's a big pick, a big turnover. For me, turnovers is going to be something that's something that I've noticed through the first 6 weeks, and I'm definitely going to be paying attention to as we go into the second half of this year post-bye, because turnovers, man, if you're turning the ball over at the wrong time, you may not be as lucky as you were against the Rams, and that's just keeping it real.
Perfect example, Rob, with the Chiefs right there. When Mahomes did throw that pick, that was the
man.
game.
That was a big ass time in the game.
Of course, and with this Bills team, Rob, a turnover is 6. A turnover is a touchdown.
Yeah.
If we're turning the ball over, we're not scoring 6. And that's what, we're obviously capable of doing every drive, no matter what. So you got to take that into account as well. This is each turnover, you're costing yourself 6 if you look at it like that. And those are, as we talked in the post-game Sunday, we're steps away from being perfect, and that's what this team's got to do with those turnovers. Those turn into 6. That's a perfect game. So you're right, Rob. The turnovers catch you at a bad time in a big game. It can be the game for sure. And on this team, I think it hurts us even more because that's 6.
Yeah, we do have the capability to score almost every time out, and I know that that's wild to think about Bills Mafia. It's wild to think about Nickel City Crew, but literally we have the potential to score on almost every single drive that we touch the football. We barely use the punter. I don't even know his name. It is a situation where McDermott is going for it in the proper situations in conjunction with him and Dorsey. They're making the right decisions for fourth down. I see a lot of other teams getting, kind of ripped up about their fourth down decisions, including Brandon Staley out there in LA with the Chargers and all the different things. I mean, again, Monday Night Football, they were going through, they literally brought back up every decision he's made over the last 2 years with the Chargers, and they were just kind of dissecting it. McDermott seems to have a good feel for when he needs to go for it. I know that they've got an analytics department. I don't know how much he leans on them, how much his game feel, but he's been doing a great job. Turnovers are really one of the only things that I see of this team going forward, again, outside of injuries that can derail them, because we really do have a legit chance with 17 at quarterback to literally, we can score every single time we touch that ball. And that's got to be something scary for a defensive coordinator to face.
Every week with this receiving core as well. This receiving core up, one receiver has a down game. Well, they're all having up games lately, but one receiver has a down game, another is going to pick that up easily. And Josh is the dog. Don't matter who's covering. We see it week in and week out, back to back AFC player of the week, and this guy's crazy, and it's going to be tough to beat them defensively. Getting a turnover is huge. That's what the defensive coordinators have come with Buffalo for the past couple of years. We put the ball on the ground a lot last year. Josh hasn't thrown too many picks in his career, but fumbling has been big under McDermott. I think I would say under the last his regime. So it's something to think about for sure, Rob. We're splitting hairs, right, at this point.
I mean, that's kind of the point. It's like, listen, it's bye week time. Split them. Let's split them, and let's kind of do a little bit of self-scouting and look at it. As we look around, a 17 backslide. I mean, I know I could sound blasphemy with that kind of statement, but I don't really see it happening. Can Josh Allen really backslide the second half of he has matured so much, and he has showed me and proved to me so much about the way that he approaches the game, where I feel like this is our quarterback. I don't fear Sugar High Josh, to quote, Kyle Brandt from years ago against the Texans and stuff like that, where he's doing dumb shit and he's throwing the ball and he's lateraling and he's trying to make something out of nothing. That's literally why the Baltimore Ravens lost that game, was Lamar literally picked up the fumble and was trying to do something out of nothing. He was trying to make something happen where there was nothing there when he was actually supposed to make the smart play. I don't really fear that anymore with 17. I think he makes the right decisions. I think that he is cool. He is calm. He's collected when the lights are brightest, has been really when we've seen his best football these last few years. And I think he's still ascending. A Josh Allen backslide to me is just not in the cards. I just don't see it as one of the possible reasons why the Bills don't sit on the same perch of the number one seed.
I don't think it's possible at all. I don't think it's possible at all, Rob. I mean, this kid's only gotten better. Josh Allen has only gotten better.
Mhm.
He's very coachable. He was taking too many hits. Now he's not. He's sliding more. He's not making those dumb throws. He's being a lot more patient. And this year he's got a little bit of a different edge to him, a different swagger,
Mhm.
a more dominant feel. And,
Yes.
and that was, I mean, he's willed his way to some victories in his career. But Sunday, Rob, I felt something, Nickel City Crew.
Mhm.
I felt something, Rob. Like,
Mhm.
this is the greats in history, the Brady's of the world on the come up, the Peyton Mannings on the come up. You just on Sunday you knew they were getting it done, and
Right.
there's going to be losses in Nickel City. There's going to be losses. We know that, but just that swag and pride, I had more than I ever had, in that Kansas City game for sure. Just that next step. He's
Mhm.
always taking that next step, and you can only get so high statistically, right? He's not going to have
Right.
8,000 yards in a season, but
Right. Right.
the way he can play the game and the way like I said, the path to perfection, the path to dominance. Stephon Diggs talked about it early. They want to dominate teams this year, and
Mhm. He did talk
17
about
is the
that. Yes.
forefront of that.
Yes, he did.
I don't see any backslide. The NFL's competitive. He's going to have some challenges, but
Right.
there's going to be no drop from him. And Sunday, I mean, I felt that, Rob. I felt that
Yeah.
Nickel City Crew.
Oh my gosh, you had to feel it. It came through your TV set for sure if you were watching the game because of the fact that you could see his energy, you could see his passion, his will to win on that. Obviously, the hurdle gets talked about so much because it was such an amazing play, but even just the passes, the fact that we found out that he wasn't pointing to Dawson Knox to go to the corner, he was pointing to him to go to the wide open part of the end zone towards the goalpost. The fact that he revealed that and that we found that out, like, and he still just said, fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he went the wrong way. No problem. I'm going to just put it right on him. Again, what a dime of a pass to that was to Dawson Knox to win the game where no one else was going to catch it. No defensive back was going to tip it. It was either going to be a Dawson Knox, touchdown catch, or it was going to be an incomplete pass. Like the way that he's pinpoint with the ball, Stephon Diggs, that touchdown. Gabe Davis, it was like, I saw that thing. I must have watched it 50 times on Instagram because there's a sideline view of Gabe Davis, and he's the one that's actually posted it. And I mean, it was literally like, oh my gosh, I see the ball. I see the ball. And I was like, oh, like what a perfect placement. He beat the corner, and right before the half, and that was it. Like, it's easy. And that's exactly what Gabe said after the play. Like, this is too easy for me. Like, this is too easy. Josh is making it easy on his receivers. He's making it easy on the offense. I am so proud that he is our quarterback. I'm elated. I feel like an adult in the 90s, to be honest. I feel like I've got Jim Kelly. And to be quite honest, I think that he is something that we really haven't seen. The way that Mahomes and Allen are playing, they've been talking about it all week long about the comparison with Brady and Manning and kind of the quarterback rivalry. That's literally where the comparison has to start and end because they were not athletes like these guys are. And this little quarterback rivalry, like we are in for a treat, man, for at least the next 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe even a decade. These guys are the real deal, and they're right here. They're right here, prime time.
I'm saying decade for sure. They're going to be here forever, Rob. And this is be grateful. Well, we're grateful for
Yeah,
this. We waited a long time.
we are
And
witnesses, like
and we
LeBron
would have
back in the day.
taken
We
we
are
would
witnesses.
exactly, yeah, we would have taken a lot of good quarterbacks in between,
Mhm.
that were like, oh, he's a franchise guy. We could have taken a lot of franchise guy in between, but it was worth every year, every bad year, every loss.
Yes,
It
the
was worth
entire
it for
drought, it was worth it.
17. It's
Yes.
now we waited and got the best one. So
Mhm.
not that
Yeah,
we could have played that crystal ball back in the drought, but
right.
it's awesome. We need to be grateful. It's awesome, Rob.
You are witnessing greatness, Nickel City Crew. You're witnessing greatness, Bills Mafia, and it's something that we're don't take it for granted. Heard a couple guys on GR talking about it this week, and I am in lockstep with that sentiment. Please don't take this for granted, and please don't take this as commonplace. Look around the NFL, and we're getting ready to take a look around the AFC specifically, but look around the NFL. There are not a lot of Josh Allens running around the NFL, period. He is one of one to me. He's a unicorn. I love that somebody compared him to Giannis in the NBA because of the fact that that is the perfect comparison. There's no one like Giannis in the NBA. There's no one as tall, as fast, as ferocious, as just dominant as Giannis for that height and obviously there's been other great players. The same way there's been other great quarterbacks. There is no one like Josh. He's literally a unicorn. So and he's our quarterback. I'm really proud to have him. And I'm honestly encouraging all of Bills Mafia this bye week. Nickel City crew, go back and look at some of these highlights of some of these throws that he's been making. Not just the runs. The runs are great because that's his athleticism. When he can't run anymore, what's going to make Josh last so much longer than some of his other contemporaries is the fact that he is really now, he's comfortable in that pocket. He can sling that thing. His arm is so strong. He cuts through wind. He cuts through the Buffalo wind there at the Ralph. He's special, man. There's really no other way to describe him other than the fact that he is special.
Addicting. I say it all the time, Rob. 17's addicting.
He is addicting for sure, man. As we proceed a little bit longer through this AFC little topsy-turvy, I want to touch on the trade deadline real quickly. DT, there's been so much chatter these last couple weeks, and it has only intensified with the firing of Matt Rule down here in Charlotte, where I'm at, and with the Carolina Panthers. There's a little bit of a fire sale going on with the Panthers down here. They traded Robbie Anderson after he got into it with a couple of the positional coaches last game. McCaffrey is on the block. It's been officially reported that he's on the block. Do you want Christian McCaffrey on the Buffalo Bills? I know that we've kind of been linked to him. Is that a good idea? I'll give you my opinion on it. I think you probably can tell how I'm asking the question. But, is that a good idea before we get to OBJ? Because McCaffrey specifically, he's got a deal. He did prorate it. He did restructure it for the Panthers. So the team that picks him up is only going to have to pick up about $1.5 million or something like that this year. But he's still got a whole other year left on that deal. Do you want him? I heard that the Panthers want a whole, a Brinks truck for him, a couple first-round picks, which is absurd. Obviously, you ask for the most that you can get, and then you'll settle for something else. So they're at least looking for one first-rounder and obviously some other compensation. Is that a good idea for the Bills to pick up Christian McCaffrey?
I would not say it's a good idea. I would say, does he make us better? Mm-hmm. That's the easy answer is yes.
Right.
Of course he makes us better. He's a primetime player, but right. His health obviously is a concern, and a lot of money and assets for a team that doesn't do that.
Right. Yes.
Jordan Poyer leads the league in picks, drove 15 hours to play in the game Sunday, is a visible difference when he's on the field. We got to pay him. You got to pay Trayman Edmonds. I mean, for dominating defense so far this year,
playing his best football by far.
So you're bringing one of these guys in on a 1-year deal. You're not going to sign one of these guys for the future. Does it make our team better right now? Yeah, but is it worth the assets?
I don't want to give shit up for him, man. I'll be honest, man. He's hurt so much that I don't want to give anything up for him unless he was damn near free. I don't want to give up a first-round pick.
Exactly.
I don't want to give up multiple thirds or fourths or whatever the case may be and pick swaps. And I don't want to do that for a guy that's only going to be here for a year. I definitely don't want to pay him at the running back position. I'm not in favor of it. I love the name, the DT, and I understand it being here in Charlotte. And, he's the most popular jersey. Obviously, now that Cam Newton is gone, you see his jersey.
Ball. I mean, let's not lie. He can ball.
Yeah. He can ball.
When he's healthy, he's dominant.
Absolutely. I also don't want the Bills to start running the damn ball more, though.
Exactly.
Just kind of what you said. That's not what we do. I don't want to see them running the ball more. I don't want to see them turning around handing it to 22 all the time.
We draft James Cook. With high intentions, and we're not even dressing Zach Moss anymore. So it's got to be 28, our second-round pick. He's got to be stepping up into that role, and Singletary's good enough right now. So, yeah, we're not going first round for McCaffrey. It'd have to be for free. You're right. It'd have to be for free.
Yeah, it'd have to be for free. It'd have to be some type of Bills and Carolina Panthers kind of handshake deal because of Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott's history down here in Charlotte. So I'm all in favor of that. I do recognize that he's a great player. I'm not going to try to take that away from him. He has been injury prone, and I know that part of that, again, is luck. So that's why we took injuries out of this conversation tonight about talking about the Bills heading into the bye week. But I'm not willing to spend premium assets on him for this year as a rental, let alone being forced to pay him or pick up his contract in future years. That's just not something that I'm interested in doing at the running back position. Now, OBJ DT dump truck. Listen, I heard a couple of guys calling today to WGR, and I swear to God, I wanted to call right back after them and say, like, yo, man, these dudes are idiots. Like I've heard a couple people today talking about it on GR. Oh, we don't need OBJ on this and that. Listen, need is a different thing than want. Do we need him? I can lean towards the fact of saying that no, we don't need him. But you must be you must be out your damn mind if you don't think that I would love to have OBJ come in at the end of November, right around that Thanksgiving game against Detroit, and see what he's got and try to integrate him before the playoffs. You must be out your damn mind if you don't think that I would love to have Odell Beckham Jr. on this team. I don't even know what Bills fans that think that we're all set are even talking about. I do understand that Shakir is getting ready to step into a bigger role. We've got McKenzie getting ready to come off his concussion, and hopefully he can get back into the flow of things. I do not blame that fumble on him. I know he's been catching a lot of flack on him this past week about that fumble. That play wasn't even supposed to go to him, is what the experts are saying. That was supposed to go to the left, and then once Josh Shaw got blown up, he kind of just tried to improvise and go to Isaiah on the right flat. That's not really on him. So I have room for him, is what I'm trying to say. I can find room for OBJ to integrate into this offense. I really can. I would love to have him. I would love to. I feel like Von Miller. I would love to have him.
When we talk for free for Christian McCaffrey, OBJ technically is free. You know, we don't have to give anything up. You can sign him. Obviously, you got to pay, money into that. But yeah, the Rams, the rumor was this, they gave him basically another 1-year prove-it deal, and he was
I heard that he was disrespected by it, right? He felt disrespected.
But, who knows, smoke screen, whatever. Maybe he had no intention of the Rams at all. He sees they're kind of down from last year. He wants to win another ring. Like, I think he, looked at that as who knows what the truth was behind that. Maybe he's getting that, Rams are out now, right? Even though maybe they didn't send him that type of offer, but it's definitely a Super Bowl.
Would you like to have him, DT? Would you like to have OBJ in the rotation?
I would love it. It's unstoppable. That's on an already unstoppable, force. So with Khalil Shakir coming up too, it's so deep back there, So if you add OBJ, it just the defensive line in waves, that would be the receiving core in waves. Like, oh, this, that. Now Diggs is deep. Oh, now Davis is deep. Oh, OBJ down the it wouldn't be it'd be unfair, So
defensive coordinators would be saying,
of course I would like him, but it all goes to your plan. And I said it earlier. What more does Jordan Poyer have to do to get paid? You spoke about that, all off season going in.
I sure did, man.
So
I sure did.
We make a move like this, you're putting assets into money into it, So, and our money there might be a place for our money. So, that's another tough question. Basically,
it sounds like you're saying if it fits and it's not going to piss anybody off, you all with it. That's kind of what it sounds like. Of
course, because why not? I mean, that's the easy way out for sure. But the defense would be these players like, oh, this team's good. This team has come together. This team, thinks they're the best, and now everyone, bring OBJ and bring OBJ. So we're not good enough,
Right.
But I don't think they're thinking like that, because one of the main leaders on this team, Von Miller, is telling them to come,
he's advocating.
And of course, Josh Allen wants them too. So
of course,
that's the easy way out to say if it fits. Of course, we would take them, but I think it's a lot less risky than Christian McCaffrey, and it bids well better to our offense. I mean, we're an air attack. Josh whips it down the field, and if you add another top receiver into that core, why not? Let's go.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm all with you on that. I heard that report as well, that he felt disrespected by the Rams' offer to bring him back. And I do know that he's going to be out, like we said, till probably around Thanksgiving or something like that, for coming off that ACL. It is his second one. I do understand that there's a lot of trepidation about that. I don't care. Listen, we are trying to go get a championship. Bring on as many pieces as you can if it's going to actually help the team. As long as, again, it is not going to mess up the chemistry within the locker room. I know that he gets a lot of flack for being, a firecracker. That's really not who OBJ is. He wants a chance to succeed. He wants a chance to catch the ball and impact the games. He was about to be the Super Bowl MVP had he not got hurt. So please don't forget the fact that this young man is talented. He's got a ton of talent. So let's not disrespect his talent. We do understand that injury risk is there. We do understand that we don't know what he's going to be like when he gets back. But if the Bills can find a way to make it work financially, and it's not going to upset the apple cart, as they say, so to speak, then I'm all for it. And I would welcome it, to be honest. Now, as we transition, DT, I want to take a look around the AFC. Who do you think can actually cause us some trouble? And as we look at our schedules and we look at the standings and things like that, who are the teams in the AFC right now that can actually derail the Bills from getting their number one seed? Again, we're looking to represent the conference in Super Bowl 57. That is the stated goal that I think all Bills fans have. They haven't really talked too much about it in specifics in respects to One Bills Drive, but they have stated that they want home games here. They want to try to get that one seed, which obviously means that they want to be on the inside track to get to Super Bowl 57. Who do you look around the conference and think that they could be a problem? We've got a surprise team here right in our division, the East Division, with the Jets at 4-2. They just finished up beating the Packers. What a game that was in respects to the fact that they really had no business winning the game, but they just literally just took it to them. I mean, the Packers look broken. Rodgers looks disinterested. He's blaming, everybody but himself, which is always very convenient and always shitty for your quarterback to do. The Jets are 4-2. They seem to be energetic. Some people have been saying that their sideline looks like a college sideline with the way that their energy has kind of been flowing. The Dolphins, again, are getting ready to get Tua back. They're at 3-3. Obviously, the Patriots, they might have found something with Bailey Zappi. It says everything statistically says that he's playing better than Mac Jones. Like, there's no way that they can even slice it. Now, there has been some a little bit worse defenses that Bailey has played against, but they say Zappi is outperforming Jones, and you know how Belichick does not fuck around with his quarterbacks. If he wants to make a change and he's going for wins, then he doesn't have any problem benching somebody. So that's in our own division. What do you think of this AFC East? Obviously, we think that the Bills are obviously going to go ahead and take the division for a third straight season, but do you see anybody in this division? It seems everybody's 500 or better. Anybody in the actual division that can cause us some problems?
I mean, the Jets look hot right now. I like the way they look for sure. If you're a Jets fan, they're excited. They're out there, but
they won
Bailey
with 100
Zappi,
and like 100
Bailey
yards
Zappi,
on all of passing though.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So how hot can they be?
So but Bailey Zappi is he lit
That
it
could
up
be
in college.
something.
I watched him at Western Kentucky last year. Won me some money in the college betting for sure. He like set
he
the
slings that. He
NCAA
slings that
record.
thing now. He's slinging that thing.
And I don't know, Belichick, you never count Belichick out. As Bills fans, we know that more than anybody. So I think they actually take second in the division. I don't think it's any threat, obviously, to the Bills. I think they sweep the Jets and the Patriots this year. But the Jets, are definitely on the right direction, looking a little better. I don't believe in. I think I picked the Broncos to beat them at home this week. I think they get back to ground, and the Patriots kind of figure it out and move second in that division, maybe getting the wild card again.
Okay, and then we've got Tua coming back from his concussion, so it looks like he's on track to play this week. So we'll see how that goes as well.
Yeah, and that's a talented team for sure. But I know the Bills got a dub coming in their favor when they play the Dolphins again. So I don't know. Down the stretch, they dropped a few in between here, and with the Jets getting some wins, they might beat each other up a little. As we thought the AFC West was going to do. Now the AFC East is over here playing each other every week. So that's a thing when it comes to the standings as well. But I like the Patriots to kind of have that late season push with Zappi, and not saying he's going to be anything too hot, but
he could be better than Mac Jones, though. I mean, Mac Jones, he could be better
than
him.
Division, and that's a whole ordeal over there in New England. Like the Patriots, like basically tell Mac Jones, get the surgery so you be out so Bailey Zappi can play. Like, what? That's some Dr.
I wouldn't
Evil
put anything
stuff,
past Belichick, man. I wouldn't put anything past him.
Right.
We know how he treats those quarterbacks.
But I like
and
Zappi, and their defense is talented. The Patriots' defense is talented too. So it's it's definitely no slouch division like we thought before the year. And but I think the Jets are going to get back to ground. I think the Dolphins are going to remain mediocre, and Patriots a little late season push.
Okay, that's fair enough. And based on history, you can't, like you said, you can't put anything past Belichick. So listen, the AFC North is kind of a schmozzle, to be honest. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns are both 2-4. The Steelers look better with Kenny Pickett. They look decent against us. I mean, I know that we whooped their ass in Orchard Park at the Ralph, but they looked better with Kenny Pickett. The offense, again, they were trying to get him on the edges and see what they couldn't do with him and give him some more time. That kind of continued last week when they got a chance to get their win. unexpected win, but they got one over Tampa Bay, and Brady's cussing out his offensive line and different things like that. We know Cleveland is waiting for Deshaun Watson to get back towards the end of the year, and then we've got Baltimore and Cincinnati, who Baltimore holds the tiebreaker over their matchup that they had. They're both 3-3. I mean, Lamar is kind of losing games. He lost that last game for them, as we talked about earlier in the show. That was really a bad performance against the Giants. And then the Bengals, I don't know if they can get right. It seems like they have the offensive weapons to do so. So I don't, I'm quick to always say that that last year was a fluke for them. But there's one thing that you cannot dispute about the Bengals, and that they've got ballers. They have players, Chase, Boyd, Higgins, Mixon. They've got players on that team. So when you look at that division, DT, I'm inclined to say that, Cincinnati could be sitting in the same spot as they were last year, top of the division, winning the division, hosting the playoff game, and then kind of seeing where it goes from there.
I'll agree 100% with that. They got a great offense. I mean, that there's some crazy dudes out there. Like
There are some
Burrow,
athletes,
and
man.
Burrow's
Yeah.
big. Joe Nasty, he whips it around. Joe Cool,
Joe
he's out
Cool,
there.
yeah.
He's not afraid to whip it around. So they're going to come into their form. I think a little later. They're a little stalled up right now. I think they come into their form a little later. And win that division, as Baltimore's not looking great, and their defense is real spotty. Rob, Baltimore's defense is not going to carry
It's
them
not
in the
looking good,
playoffs, and
man.
Lamar is not winning a game solely. Their defense is going to get beat up. I think Cleveland's too far gone.
Yeah.
They're going to go on a string of losses, and Pittsburgh's a completely different team without TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Completely different team. With
Yeah.
TJ Watt, to anybody in there, they might be, a little above 500, maybe make a run at the wild card. But without TJ Watt, it's tough. And Cleveland, I think, is too far gone. And who knows, more allegations coming in. He might just take the whole season off, Deshaun. So
Yeah, I don't know.
we'll see
Yeah,
there. But
we'll see.
Cincinnati, I think, comes into form late in the season. The Bills play him. But there's too many ballers on that team, too many young experience on that team. They were in the bowl, Bob. So I like them, and Baltimore hasn't, is starting to not impress me as much each week.
Yeah, it's been interesting because I loved Lamar Jackson and I wanted the Bills to get him, you know what I mean? And I was not shy about that back then. And I think he's an electric player. I think that he is a wonderful talent, but I do think that he is a little bit lost sometimes because of the fact that I think that he thinks that his talent is over and above and beyond all of the other players, the 11 players that are playing against him on defense. And I understand that it works almost all of the time. This is how he got to an MVP, and he's waiting to get paid. But sometimes I think he takes it a little bit too far, and that was an example on Sunday against the Giants, where he literally was doing too much, and it literally did bite his team, and it hurt his team in the end. So we'll see how that goes. We'll skip over the AFC South, and we'll keep them at the end. What the hell happened to the AFC West, DT? I could remember an episode that we had leading in to this season when we were talking about how this was getting ready to be the Holyfield Tyson division. It was about to be, Ali Liston, and they were getting ready to go back and forth, Ali Frazier. What happened to this division? We thought that they were going to be trading blows. Russell Wilson looks like shit. I have no idea what's going on with him. It might be the labrum. I really do at this point hope that it is the injury, because I don't even recognize the quarterback that I see out there. And I love Russell Wilson. Not as a, I know that he annoys a lot of people because he's so damn corny, but as a football player, I love him. I love the leader that he was. I thought he got robbed out of that Super Bowl by not giving the ball, Pete Carroll not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch, because he could be a 2-time Super Bowl champ and he would still be in Seattle had they won another Super Bowl. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. The Vegas Raiders are 1-4. I don't understand what's going on with them, because I could have sworn that their offense was going to be better. Yes, I could have sworn the offense was going to be better. We've got Waller, you've got Adams coming through now, a defense that you hope with Crosby and Chandler Jones that would be a great combo on the edges, kind of similar to what the Bills are trying to create with Rousseau and Von Miller. None of that has come to fruition for the Raiders, and then we've got the Chargers at 4-2, along with the Chiefs, but the Chargers don't impress me, DT. The Chargers look like a team that, again, it could be quarterback injury, so I'll leave room for that. Maybe it's because Herbert is not healthy yet, but everyone I hear that talks about the Chargers, DT, every single prognosticator that I hear talk about the Chargers say that they are running the wrong damn offense for Herbert. He is more like Josh Allen. They need to be going down the field, and for some reason they're running this horizontal offense that doesn't fit him, and they don't look that good. They've gotten lucky with some of their wins. They don't look that good.
Well, we talk about OBJ. They need him, I think, more than anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
with even with Keenan Allen
Okay,
in,
he's coming back.
you
He's
know,
coming back
nobody.
soon.
Yeah, but even with him in, nobody goes down deep. You know,
Nobody,
they
not even Mike Williams. They don't send
they're
Mike Williams,
yeah, yeah.
and
So
that's all he
the
did at
one guy,
Clemson.
what was his name? Guyton.
Yes.
He was kind of a deep threat, and he's out for the season.
Hmm.
You got Eckler dipping and dunking underneath. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. They need somebody over the top, but what gets me on that is it is a good roster, Rob,
It's a
and
great
they did put a
roster.
lot of money into their defense, which doesn't look good. I wouldn't have paid J.C. Jackson if you watch any Diggs tape. I mean, let's go on that. Like, geez.
Let's go,
But
Captain Diggs. Let's go, Captain
other than
Diggs.
that, I mean,
Yeah.
they put some money. Khalil Mack's a beast. He's going to get his still. And
Bosa's a
offensively, they're
beast.
very talented. And
Hmm.
so sitting at 4-2, it's kind of concerning, I think, because they haven't looked good and maybe should have lost a few other games, but still 4-2 is not bad with one game getting blown out without Justin Herbert even playing. So, I think they're going to down the stretch be just as good, I think, as we thought in the beginning of the year. The Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. And I think there's going to be a little turnaround in the bottom of this division with the Broncos hopefully figuring it out. Even if they go to the backup, it is a talented offensive roster with Judy and Sutton, and they can run the ball too. So
I don't
I
understand
think
what's wrong with Denver, man. I don't get what's wrong with
I
Denver,
mean
man. That's
it's got to
perplexing
be
as hell, man.
it's got to be coaching. If it's not Russell Wilson, it's coaching. And because they've been, it looks brutal sometimes. They couldn't even
He's
get
not
plays in.
hitting
The first two
anybody.
games, they couldn't even get plays in. But then that goes to, well, Russell Wilson's a vet, get up and control the team, control the offense, so it's
Something
deep.
is
And I think
broken.
the
Something
Raiders
is
are,
broken.
yeah, and I think the Raiders are a decent 1-4 team, as you say that, like they a lot of talent, Devontae Adams
Yep.
and Carl was slinging it, and their defense was stout last year. So I think the bottom of that division is going to start turning again. The Chargers getting flow, Chiefs already there, and it might get back to that eating each other up. What we
What we
thought at the
thought
beginning
of.
of the year,
Okay.
I still think there's a chance for that to happen.
Okay. I can understand that. You've got Keenan Allen, like you said, coming back for the Chargers. Denver, I can't imagine. I mean, they are the lowest output offense in the league. They're averaging like 15 points a game. One of the worst offenses that we've seen in the modern era. I'm perplexed by that, to be honest. And again, I'm hoping that it's, not hoping, but I'm hoping that the reason it is because Russell and the labrum, because either it's that or literally you're going to have to start talking about the new coach or something like that. And I know Hackett and he was here in Buffalo with Marone and we couldn't stand Marone and whatever the case may be. And listen, Hackett, sometimes just because you were with a great quarterback does not mean that you are a great coach. I'm sorry. Listen, sometimes great, workers are not great managers. That's just kind of the way it goes. Like there could be a great salesman, and he's a great salesman, and Tim's a great salesman, and he sells everything that we tell him to sell. But then we promoted him to a manager, and he got promoted, and he got the nice parking spot, and all of a sudden he's just not the same Tim, and he doesn't have the same energy, or he doesn't have the same drive, or he's just not communicating well, or it's just a different job. And it just seems like there's something going on there in Denver that they've got to get a handle on. If you just bought the team, I just bought this team, and I gave Russell Wilson almost
Yeah,
I gave him
one of
$250
the richest
million.
dudes ever,
What?
Walmart man. Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I gave Russell $250 million, and I gave him 100 something 50 guaranteed. Like, and I'm tied
guaranteed.
into him for another six
And
fucking years. Like,
we're scoring
yo,
12
man,
points a
listen,
game. We're
yo, I
scoring
need
12 points a game, trading
Yo,
punts in
man, I
overtime.
bought a
Like,
lemon, man.
yeah,
I need to go back to the dealership. I bought a lemon, man.
yeah, yep.
Like, y'all
Check
sold me a
engine lights
lemon.
on. Yep.
Oh, man, that's great. As we look at the AFC South, we spend the least amount of time on them, and we always have, even leading up into this season. Listen, the Tennessee Titans are at 3-2. Same thing with the Indianapolis Colts, who are actually just 2 losses, 3-2-1 after that tie from week 1. The Jaguars have kind of cooled off. They're down to 2-4, and then we've got the 1-3 and 1 Houston, Texas coming up the rear. Listen, the only team in that division, surprisingly enough, that has a positive point differential is the Jaguars at plus 24. The rest of these teams, man, I'm sorry. Minus 22 point differential for Tennessee, minus 18 for Indianapolis, minus 13 for Houston. Like, these teams are not really good teams. Now, somebody has to win the division by default. That's the way that the NFL has set it up, DT. But none of these teams I could see as a possible threat. I don't care if the Bills get the 1 seed or if they happen to have the 2 seed. There's some type of collapse where we get the 2 seed and we actually have to play the 7 seed. The 7 seed is going to come out of the AFC South most likely, and we'll dust them. I don't see any threats coming out of that conference. Excuse me, out of that
No,
division.
no, not at all. The Colts, I think, have the best all around roster.
Mhm.
If especially if JT comes back, they're well, he will, but
Yeah,
comes back like he was. Their defense is going to get healthy. Darius Leonard's barely played,
right. Yep.
or Shaquille Leonard,
Now he
excuse me,
wants to
is
be
all.
called Shaq. He wants
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
called Shaq Leonard now. That's confusing me, but
And
okay. But he hasn't played this year,
uh,
has he? I don't think he's played yet.
one game, I think.
One game.
I think he
Okay.
played one game, but yeah, been
Mhm.
in and out. And so it's they. I think they're the best roster overall in that division. Tennessee's been there though. Number one seed last year, and Vrabel's not going to give up. But you saw what happened when they
I'm
came
shaking
when
my
they
head,
saw
Nickel City
17,
crew. I'm shaking my head. They are
and
not
so I
ready.
don't know. I mean,
They
I'm
are
just
not
trying to
ready.
play. Is give as much credit as I can, and it's hard in this division for sure. Doug Peterson's going to be all right with the Jacksonville team, but I still don't
Yeah.
think they're that good. Let's be real. I mean, Trevor Lawrence hasn't shown his stuff yet. Like, is he? It's going to be a little while before they're moving, and Houston's just going to be at the bottom of the league. That's a guarantee. So,
Yeah.
I think the Colts have the most potential to get it done there, but
Yeah.
yeah, anybody we see out of there, easy,
Easy.
Gus. That's going to be
Yeah.
a 14-point spread in the playoffs, Rob.
Yeah, and again, hopefully, Bills Mafia, we don't even have to worry about the Nickel City crew as we're sitting at home, like we are getting ready to this bye week, waiting for our opponent and figuring out how the bracket is going to look. Listen, we are really in a perch and sitting atop the conference, and there's no outcomes that happen this week that are going to change the Bills seating. So we will be the number one seed heading into Sunday night football against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. What a dysfunctional mess that they look like. I've been smiling watching all of that kind of stuff because to me, it's funny how before we wrap up, it's funny how, you know, Rodgers talking shit about retirement all off season and then he's taking psychedelics and stuff like I'm not judging him or anything like that. My point is that his head was clearly not on football. His head was on other things and he broke up with Olivia Munn and he's got a new girlfriend and yada yada yada. Listen, and then obviously Brady, he's going through the crisis of his life in respects to his own personal relationship and you can see that it's affecting him. He missed the Saturday walkthrough. If you are cussing me out on Sunday on national TV and I'm an offensive lineman, I promise you I was going to say something to him. Like, where the hell were you on Saturday? You was at the craft wedding? Why weren't you here? Didn't you skip 11 days during training camp to go to the Bahamas or whatever to try to save your marriage and be with your family? Or what listen, whatever he was doing out there is his business. But the whole point is that he was away from the team. You already retired, then you came back, and then you left for 11 days during training camp. Then you weren't at Saturday walkthrough because you had to be at Kraft's wedding. I, I mean, if I'm a teammate, I'm just talking about from a teammate perspective. I'm not respecting that kind of shit. I don't care how many Super Bowls you have. I'm putting in the same work that you're supposed to be putting in. So don't you get on me and start cussing me out because we've missed some assignments or whatever the case may be on Sunday. Listen, where the fuck was you on Saturday? Because I didn't see you. And I'm honestly, the locker rooms are way different than what people understand. We've been talking about that Draymond Green thing. I know me and you have off air. Listen, locker rooms are just different, DT. And I don't know how well Rodgers and Brady are carrying in their own respective locker rooms right now.
It's an analogy of of a company, and these top dogs for years have been doing what they want, and
Top
now they're
sales
in
dogs.
the
Yeah,
machine
yeah,
where they really think they can do what they want.
yeah.
They can do no wrong, and rightfully so. They should be able to do what they want, but
To a
everyone
certain
else in the
extent,
office is
though.
watching the new dogs. Everyone
Yeah.
else in the office is watching Mahomes and Herbert and Allen, So
Yeah.
these dudes are kind of acting, not acting out, but like just thinking almost that, hopefully realizing that it's not their league anymore,
Hmm.
and the kudos to all their accolades and everything like that, but it's time to pass the torch, if you will, and it's kind of showing in that rough manner of these dudes are kind of given the unteammate style, uncharacteristic. Their teams aren't
Hmm.
doing the greatest, and the new kids on the block look hotter than ever. So that's kind of what it is, a passing of a torch. And I'm not saying they're spiteful, but they're competitors, and they know they can't compete with these dogs now. So it's a little bit of a spite to that, and the passing
Yeah,
of the
man. I mean,
torch,
you
but not willingly. The passing of the torch, but not willingly, and I think we're seeing it clearly, Rob, as you stated.
Yeah, but listen, I mean, I'm talking like I said, I'm talking about from a teammate's perspective because of the fact that you can't cuss me out if you didn't come to work on Saturday and I was at work. Like now, you might be able to because, like you said, you're the top dog and you're the top sales dog, and everybody knows Tom, and Tom's the man. He's got a little parking spot, yada yada yada. But you're only gonna be able to cuss me out so much as another man, as your teammate. I'm your peer. Now you might be above me in respects to stature, but I'm your peer. Don't cuss me out because I missed my assignment when you weren't even here at practice on Saturday because you were at a wedding and you skipped 11 days worth of training camp because you were out hanging with your family. Like I wanted to be with my family too. So I wouldn't have taken too kindly to that. I don't know how his offensive line feels about being reamed on national TV because Tom Brady was laying into him. They lose again, obviously again to Pittsburgh that game. And then Rodgers, after the game, the thing that rubbed me the wrong way was that he was talking shit about the offense, talking shit about LaFleur, saying almost as if he was removed from the situation. Like, well, I don't know, man. They gotta figure some stuff out. LaFleur works hard, and you know what I mean. Listen, I don't know. They got to figure it out though, because we got to either make stuff simpler or we have to figure out something else. Because if we got the right players, then we got to make it simpler. Because I don't know, like I don't know, we're not executing, like they're not doing shit. Like wait a minute, you part of this shit too? Like you're the quarterback, you're the one that's distributing the ball, you're the one that's helping make the decisions. So like I don't know, it seems like they're kind of removed and they almost seem like they're above the team, and that never ever goes over well in the locker room. It never does.
No, not at all. And it's going to be an interesting way how it pans out. I still, you can't count them out. I think Brady's got a talented roster and going to get it together and be down the stretch in a week NFC. I don't know about the Packers though, Rob. I really don't. I mean,
They
they
look
have not
lost,
looked
man.
good.
They
They
look
have not
lost,
looked
man.
good, and it's going to be tough. They might catch some traction this week. They think they play Washington.
Yep. With
So
Taylor
take down
Heineke. Yep.
Washington and come in with a little confidence. But 17 coming off some rest, not going to be nice.
Yeah, as DT alludes to, we will see you guys again next week as we approach Sunday Night Football. NBC will be there. I think that's Mike Tirico and the gang, and they will be here in Orchard Park at the Ralph. What a great atmosphere. We already had the Monday Night Football game, and obviously, again, you guys know Nickel City Crew, I missed it, so I'm making my amends. I cannot wait. It's Halloween Eve. I will be decked out in my Daryl Talley Spider-Man outfit. I've got the Under Armour, got the mask, I got the gloves. Like, if you guys Google it, please. People are like, what? Daryl Talley? Google it. So for the younger Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, Google Daryl Talley. All you have to do is Google Daryl Talley, Spider-Man, and you will see a poster from back in the day, and it's got just basically the half face, and half of it's Spider-Man, and half of it's Daryl Talley. Daryl Talley, the wonderful linebacker for the Bills, used to wear, and he was one of the first Under Armour. Remember how Allen Iverson is called the godfather of the NBA sleeve. So he was one of the first people ever to wear a sleeve. Now, he actually wore the sleeve for protective purposes because he had hurt his elbow with the Philadelphia 76ers. And boy, now it's just a fashion statement. Same thing with your boy Daryl Talley. He was one of the first to wear Under Armour, and it was a Spider-Man themed Under Armour. And boy, that thing looks hot, especially when it was in that Bills jersey. So I will be decked out. I cannot wait for Sunday Night Football. I know that you've got a segment that you want to do coming up, but I can't wait for that game in a couple weeks before we talk about the bye week, DT, because listen, Sunday Night Football under the lights. I mean, it's kind of just that same Monday Night Football feel where we get to the tailgate early. I'll be there. I'll see you. We're going to figure out something good to eat. I'm probably going to fry a turkey, and we're just going to kind of just do our thing. Like, I love those night games. I know that some of the people don't, but I love the night games because you get the chance to tailgate and be around your people a little bit longer.
Hopefully, good weather by then. Only a couple
Right.
weeks out. You never know.
Right.
But we got 70 and sunny in Buffalo this Sunday. So
Oh, wow.
a
Beautiful.
week from
That's
that, we'll
hotter than
see. But
Charlotte. That's
wow,
nice.
yeah. I'm pumped up though, Rob. I'll be happy to see you in
Oh,
that
yeah.
outfit. I'm gonna have to come up with something now. I'm gonna have to figure it out
Oh, yeah.
to play up to that. It's Halloween. It's gonna be a big weekend. It's gonna be spooky when 17 takes the field. Defense is gonna be spooked out, but yeah, I'm pumped up. That'll be awesome. The nice fall, crisp air. We'll be in daylight for most of it, I'd say. For the majority of our time
Yes.
together that day,
Absolutely.
and then yeah, when the
Throw the
lights turn
ball
on,
around.
so
We'll get a chance to see
yep,
that little
yep,
syringe thing again, and get you take a couple beers through
yep,
that shot
yep,
thing. Everybody still loves that on Instagram, and I can't wait. And maybe we have the
yeah.
Nickel
I
City
like
Crew
that Turks
dancers
tattoo,
back. We
Rob.
had some
That's
Nickel City Crew dancers coming through, and that was real cool. So that was fun, and I can't wait. That'll be a fun tailgate. So again, this week, relax. Bye week for the Bills. You don't have to worry about any type of stress on Sunday or anything that's going to happen. Again, when we return from the bye week to play the Green Bay Packers week 8, it is still the Bills sitting on the perch, number 1 seed. Nothing can happen again this Sunday that can change that. We have the best record in the conference, and we will be the number 1 seed heading into Green Bay, against the Green Bay when we play them. Now, DT, you had brought up something off air that was real funny, and I wanted to talk about it because of the fact that I thought that there was a situation where we might be able to come up with a new show So listen, if you were NFL player, DT, you lay it out, man. If you were NFL player, we're heading
Yeah.
into bye week. What? Come on, you lay it out, DT. You lay
Of
it out.
course, yeah, yeah. So you always think everybody always personifies like, oh, I would, just think if you were Josh Allen, just think if you were the NFL, think if you were, you know, Von Miller making a sack Sunday against Patrick Mahomes, like how crazy that would be with the crowd and everything. But do you ever think of like being one of these guys like off the field, like
Mm-hmm.
you are the guy, like you
Mm-hmm.
got the money, you got the girl, you got all the nice stuff, and you're out there just vibing. What do you do on your bye week? I don't know the
You got money. Don't
regulations for
forget
like a
money. You
team.
got chips too.
Uh,
Don't forget you got chips.
yep, yep, yep. And you're looking like what you got a week. I don't know the protocol. I don't know when they got to
Yeah, they
get back to
gone, man.
practice
Josh
or
is at the
anything like
Padres
that. But
game tonight, man. They gone,
yeah,
man. They gone.
they're out. They're out this
They
week. And
gone.
and I get the season is taxing. It's good to take breaks. So my question, yeah, well, what would you do, Rob? You're in the NFL. Your bye week. You're 5-1. You're on the Bills. What do you do?
Oh man, listen, I was gonna ask. That was funny that you said your girl. I was gonna ask, and it's funny. I said, well, am I a single NFL player or am I a married NFL player,
Let's
or
do
do
it
I have?
single. Let's
Oh
do it
my
single.
gosh, if I'm single, man, if I'm single for the Nickel City crew, I promise y'all, I'm gone and I'm doing everything I want to do. So listen, I would be leaving as soon as we got back from Kansas City. And obviously we're on the bye week, so there's no practice that next Monday. I'm out. I'm out that night. I'm not staying in Orchard Park. No offense to Buffalo, anything like that. Wherever I'm from, I'm probably going back to that city with my peoples and get some love, man. I want to go back to where people know me. Listen, I probably came up in Florida or something like that, or you know what I mean, and I get Texas or something, and I'm going back to get some love, man. We're 5-1, so I want my old coaches around. I want my old crew from high school around. I want everybody to kind of throw flowers on me. Let me know that we've been doing such a great job. Let me know that I've been playing well and that kind of thing. And I'm just going to soak it up, man. I'm going to soak up some of that hometown love. That's what I would do. I wouldn't go on vacation necessarily because if I'm not trying to spend too much money. If I got millions, I'm trying to save as much as I can until the off season. But if it's during the season bye week and I'm the man, or I'm one of the men, or even if I don't care if I don't care if I've been on the bench. I can be Tyler Matakevich. I don't care if I'm just special teams. I'm going home and I want some people to shower me some love, man. I'm trying to see some people that I know that know me, that know I work hard. I want them just to show me some love, man. Show me some like, oh shit. What's say,
I
oh,
like
you in the
that. I
building?
like
You in
that,
the oh
Rob. That's
Crip, you
good.
here?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, yo, your team 5-1. Yeah, and I'm gonna
Keep
hang
that
out for the
comfort,
weekend
keep that
and chill.
confidence up, but keep that
Yeah,
comfort
keep
up,
the
Well,
confidence up. Keep
yeah.
my gas tank full, man. I want people not that I'm listen. Professional athletes are different breeds. You have to be a certain level of crazy. You have to be a certain level of confident to be able to do that job because, again, you are playing against the best of your peers. You are the 1% of the 1% that actually get to the league. So, yeah, there's nothing wrong with filling your gas tank up, letting people that love you let you know that you've been doing real well. I would probably go back to my hometown and soak it all up, have a barbecue this weekend for sure. Watch some games.
Well, that was a good segment. That was a good segment. That was a good answer, Rob. That was a good one. I'm sure a lot of those guys are doing just that.
Yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Well, I was back and forth on this. My first instinct was just a staycation. As much as Buffalo's not the warmest right now, and to get out, just not having it's like that day off of work or that day off of school. Like sometimes it's nice just to be at the crib, and just relax with no stress or pressure of work and having to do anything. And that's sometimes the most relaxing I think I've ever felt. But if I'm traveling, I might go more vacation vibe, play some golf, get some massages in, get some ocean, get some water in me just to get the true relaxing vibe to come back ready to roll. But
Yeah.
I kind of leaning maybe towards a staycation. If I'm playing, I don't want to get too frisky into anything, and just take that time at home, get into some movies, get
Yeah, if I'm
into
single, I'm gonna
whatever
be
you got to do.
frisky. I'm
So,
sorry. If I'm single and I'm an
yeah,
NFL
okay,
player with
okay.
millions of dollars, I'm gonna be frisky. I'm going back to my hometown. I'm making it. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have fun. I'm going to the local strip club. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a good time that weekend. I promise you. And like I said, maybe barbecue on the weekend, man. That was fun, man. We should definitely try to figure out a way to incorporate that because that's cool, man. Put yourselves in the shoes of these guys. It's hard. I know that it's hard because these guys, they make so much money and they're such supreme athletes, but don't forget that these are people too, man. These guys are people. They have families, they have friends. They, like you said, they've got girlfriends and wives and children. These guys are guys. So I'm sure that the majority of the Bills are getting ready to unplug, like you said, DT, get away from football for a week. They don't have to worry about being at practice first thing in the morning or film session or anything like that. Walkthroughs. They'll get a chance to kind of just be regular people, let their hair down and kind of enjoy time away from the game. Boy, when we get back, it is getting ready to be all missiles go, man. All missiles go, DT. All missiles go when we get back, man. All missiles go. Everything that we wanted for the KC game before that game, it is all come to fruition. It's right literally here in front of us. KC needs to win 2 games. And now they're a game and a half back. So they gotta beat us by 2 games in order to get ahead of us, man. Like
Yeah.
we are
Go
in a really good
49ers this week. Go 49ers this week is
yeah.
I don't
Get
know.
after
We're
him.
getting lucky. We're getting lucky with our team and Josh Allen, but I don't know if we're lucky enough for the to get one on the Chiefs when they're not even playing. So we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean it's here, man. As I said earlier, calm but firm. Calm
Yeah.
but firm. We
Yeah.
chill out. We go into this bye, but Packers come 6-1 is firm.
Yeah, I'm down with you, man, on that. As we wrap up tonight, I just wanted to remind Bills Mafia, Nickel City crew, want to remind you guys to make sure that you just enjoy this season. Again, we talked about it at nauseum, and I'm going to continue to kind of beat that drum. 17 events. We've had a great time with these events so far. There have been 6 of them, and I cannot wait for the next 11 events. They are events. 17, 14, and 40 are your leaders on this team. There are some of the captains on this team, and for good reason. Josh Allen has been playing out of his mind. He looks like the early favorite for the MVP. Yeah, again, we've already talked about in this episode. We don't see a backslide. You already know, Nickel City Crew, how much I love Stephon Diggs. I'm him. That is my dude. I've always posted him on Instagram. That is my guy. Love his energy and how infectious it is, excuse me, to the entire offense. And then now it's starting to permeate throughout the entire team. And then what else can you say about the future Hall of Famer Von Miller, number 40? I mean, literally, don't blink. How many players now are you hearing of talking about don't blink? And then you even hear Sean McDermott talking about don't blink, DT. It's a moniker that is kind of permeated throughout this entire team. I love it. I think it strikes the right tone, especially with last year in 13 seconds. Don't blink. And there was a chance for the Bills to blink last week, and we did not. And I just love the way that those 3 have really permeated throughout this entire 2022 Bills team. It looks like we're in great hands with our leadership. And again, the leadership comes in the locker room. Obviously, Sean McDermott can be rah-rah and he can say what he has to say. Leslie Frazier, Ken Dorsey in those meetings. But when it comes to the locker room, that's where the players are. Those are the guys that actually drive the team. They've been great leaders, man, for this team as we wrap up.
Extreme alphas, extreme alphas and
Yes.
all in their rightest way, and they all
Hmm.
show it differently as Von Miller being a little more reserved and has
Right.
been around the league a long time. And, his excitement, he talks about this team is, it's like it was his early years in the league. It's like
Hmm.
he's a kid again playing and having fun, but he still has that, stern, thing about him. And damn, we're
Hmm.
making that guy smile, like, and being a bought in leader to this team. Diggs says it with a little more chest,
Yeah.
and
Say it
JA
with your
does it,
chest, Kevin
and
Hart.
JA does it with,
Yeah.
JA does it with literally everything. So
Everything.
it's those are the 3 leaders of this team, 3 alphas, and they do it all a little differently in their own way, but it comes together in a perfect storm. I wouldn't have any other way that these 3 guys are leading my team.
No, man, we are in good hands. Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. We are in good hands with those guys leading the locker room and kind of keeping everything in straight and order and making sure that everybody's keeping their eye on the prize. We know what the prize is. They're not going to say that they want to win a Super Bowl in respects to that. That's their stated goal in respects that we got to go win a Super Bowl or bust. That's not how teams operate. They're going to stick to one game at a time, trying to qualify for the playoffs. Would love to get the 1 seed, and then we let the chips fall from there. But we know that these guys want to go represent the AFC in Super Bowl 57. I'm in full support of them going ahead and being our leaders on our journey together for these last, again, 11 events. So listen, as we wrap up tonight, man, I've had a great time with you, DT. As always, love that last little segment. That was really cool, man, because that was something a little bit different that's your idea. That's a little bit of flavor that DT adds to Nickel City Crew. So I like that, man, because I definitely would be going crazy this weekend in my hometown if I was a Buffalo Bill player for sure, man. I'd be going wild trying to be PG for my mother because she listens to the podcast. So listen, as we wrap up, man, please remember, spread love, not hate. Always, please spread love, not hate. Hit them. I mean, what's up, man? Hit them with the Go Bills. As always, these were my
Relax,
Bills thoughts
relax,
said
Nickel
out loud.
City. Enjoy this week, Nickel
Yeah,
City, and
yeah.
yeah, go Bills, baby. 6-1. Here we come. Enjoy the
Yeah.
week.
Ooh, I like that, man. As always, these were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Go Bills. Hit them with a Go Bills one more time, DT, for the bye week.
Go Bills.